How has the education system helped or failed you in your experience?
Okay, so I feel like the education system has failed me as far as challenging me academically in high school. I didn't have to actually learn the concept of studying and actually put forth the effort to pass the work and read the work until I was in college. In high school, I was that kid that never studied. I was that kid in 12th grade and even a lot in 11th grade that was barely in school, like, and I still made honor roll. Like I wasn't the best of the best of kids. I was a little mischievous. So I hooked school a lot. So, and I still managed to make the honor roll, which is insane to me. My entire 12th grade year, I left school at about 1 o'clock. And I still made honor roll, which is crazy to me. It wasn't very challenging as long as I passed the tests and things like that, which is I feel like it's failing the kids. I feel as a kid, of course, you think this is great, but now growing up and being a mother and having little sisters and things like that, I feel like that it should be challenging and it should definitely be preparing you for the next step. Anything you do in life should be a preparation for the next step, and I don't feel like the system is doing that. I also feel like the system failed in a sense of schools have always been overcrowded. Schools are ridiculously overcrowded. There was entirely too many children in my class. And even to today there's entirely too many children in my son's class. They are throwing up elementary schools left and right, but once you get past elementary school and go to middle school, there aren't any new elementary schools. So there aren't any new middle schools. So once they graduate from elementary school, you're crowding the middle schools and the high school with all of these children from 15, 16 different elementary schools. So I don't feel like that's helping anybody, especially not the teachers. Because now you're leaving this one teacher to have to stimulate and teach 40 kids, which is failing them. They're not getting the attention they need to learn the material to be able to go to the next step in life. However, I do feel like the system helps in a sense of learning social skills. You get to learn how to interact with other people, which is something you don't get from homeschool. And I feel like that's pretty much it. Oh, system also fails you as far as lunch is concerned. That stuff is horrible. I don't know if you ever tried to eat school lunch, but that stuff tastes like jail food. It's just horrible. I don't feel like every teacher. I feel like teachers are underpaid and overworked, which contributes to the way they teach, the materials they have to actually teach you. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I got off the top of my head. I can't really. If I researched it, I probably could have definitely more. But I definitely feel like the system, even now, like I graduated in 2007, so that was quite some time ago. Um, so I definitely feel that even now in 2020, they still have these same issues. These issues are still issues. And the next generation is they're just continuing to create the next generation, which is just going to make it even more overpopulated. The teachers going to be even more overworked. The same issues are just going to continue. The cycle will repeat itself until we step up and do something. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How has the education system helped you or failed you in your experience?
I think that when I was coming up, the educational system failed us children in my era because of lack of teachers, education, again, like we're going through in 2020, books, materials. We had special needs that was called opportunity for kids that had learning disabilities. They call them opportunity, which made kids bully them. They did nothing about it. They would take your lunch. I feel like that they did not protect the children when they were in school. They need to show more caring and loving for the kids and make sure they were learning instead of throwing 30 to 40 kids in one class with one teacher. I feel like you needed to have at least 2 teachers per class to help, and that was able and educated enough to teach the children. We had some that did not even have the education to become teachers and did not know no more than the kids knew. So I feel like that's where they failed the mostly. Even in special need children, they passed them even if they didn't need to be passed. Just like again in 2020, the same things that are happening now was happening during my era when I was in school as well.
Thank you.